Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the You Thrive platform. You know what I'm saying? Because are you thriving? And if you're not, then you in the right space. You in the space to be because we thriving over here. You know what I'm talking about? And it's
Yeah.
contagious. You get to thrive. You get to thrive. You get to thrive. You know what I'm saying? We sprinkling thrive on everybody. Everybody thriving. You know what I'm talking about? So anyway, welcome to our segment of celestial quantum healing. And we have our beautiful hostesses with the mostesses. We're going to start out with our lovely Janita.
Hello, everyone.
Our young elder in the building. And then we got the infamous seductress. Flash, we taking applications, okay, for baby daddies.
Ah! That's so funny.
Okay. We
Oh,
got
gee.
Brady K in the building. AKA Sundana. We got the alchemist in the building. Go ahead.
Yes, Sundana the seductress. I like that. I like that.
I love the voice switch up and everything, you know.
Mm,
That's too funny. That's good. Good stuff.
We
Yes.
love it.
yes.
And I'm putting myself out there too, honey, because my daughter needs a stepdaddy. Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's so funny.
And she's
That's so
only three. Do, 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 do. So she's old enough and still not that young. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, stepdaddy, okay? We are only taking the creme de la creme de la creme de la creme. Right? So if you don't feel like you got it all going on, don't apply. Okay? Don't make it one of those things. You know how somebody just get the urge, but you don't feel like it, but you like, let me just try it out. Don't do it. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Okay.
Yeah. Application fees are non-refundable.
Denied. All right, y'all. So,
Cool.
I feel like we're kind of going to be floating into some different spaces. But what I genuinely want to talk about is being our authentic selves. Okay. And so let me first ask y'all's opinions on this because when I first heard this statement, I was like, that's bullshit. You know what I mean? But I heard that you always pay a cost. You know what I'm saying? Like whether it's like currency, actual
The
money,
cost to be a boss.
but you're always paying a cost. Like everything is gonna cost you something, you know? And I never agree with it. So y'all tell me y'all's perspectives on that.
As far as what you saying right there, so for me, when you say that, I'm thinking everything has a consequence. So you have positive consequences and you have negative consequences depending on what you choose to do with the information that you have. Um, making different decisions when you know you're doing something, when you know you're doing something that's not your authentic self, when you're overriding, when you feel clearly, I'm not supposed to be doing this, and you hear it, and then you override it and you do it anyway, well, there's going to be a negative consequence of that. If you do what you're supposed to do, then you're going to have a positive consequence of it. But as far as the pain, I'm going to put it like this, as far because you have positive things to do also, right? And it might be extremely uncomfortable. It very, very, very hard, and you have to go into a trust zone to do it. So that would be the quote quote feel like your pain. But once you do what you're supposed to do, the reward is so great and so awesome that it's worth it. So that's how I see what you're saying. as far as that statement.
What you think, Brady?
Um, I I agree with Janita as in like as far as like consequences of what your actions, those are the costs of your actions. And whenever there is like any type of energy exchange, there's always that's like a cost as well. Like you like anytime you're, you want to go seek knowledge, there's always going to be some type of cost you have to pay to get that high knowledge. You know, whether it's the cost of your time or, monetary or, whatever. There's always going to be some type of cost. And then there's the saying, you know, what's the cost to be a boss? So when you're seeking to be in that high position, there's going to be costs along the way. And it's not always going to be monetary. It could be, energetic in some type of way. Um, but yeah, I do agree. There's always a cost.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I wanted to add to that. Fear is a huge cost when you are not in alignment and doing what you're supposed to do. And so what ends up happening as far as paying for something, um, because of being in fear, then you constantly taking yourself out of alignment. So you're constantly going through unnecessary negative situations, but you're scared because you're like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't want to go through this. I don't want to go through that. But you have to look at the goal. You have to look at what's at the end of the situation. And when you continue in fear, then you continue in a loop of what you don't like and what doesn't feel good. But so many people are so scared. But if I do it, then this might happen. I might find out this. I might find out that, or I might have to do this. I might have to do that, and that's gonna be uncomfortable. And I might have to stop doing the stuff that I'm used to doing or what makes me comfortable. So a cost of coming out your comfort zone, people don't want to go through that cost. But when they do that, they keep themselves stagnant and miss out on the enormous, huge rewards of going through the costs that are uncomfortable. So you have to look at, is it really worth staying in fear? Is it really worth being too scared have to have a cost of going through what feels that doesn't feel good? You know, you got to get over that. We didn't come here to stay stagnant. We did not come here to stay stagnant. We came here for different purposes, and we have to trust whatever that is. And like they say, if you're scared, do it anyway, because you have a knowing that on the other side, it's gonna be fabulous. So yeah.
That's it. That's all, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yes.
so I'm a Gemini. And so as a sun sign Gemini, I can, before I knew that this was going to be a thing, I have the ability to see things from a lot of different ways. And I feel like that's what makes Geminis like smooth criminals, so to speak, because we can
Tricksters.
rationale anything. We can make anything sound rational. Anything. You know what I mean? Like anything sound rational. And that and you hit another one, which was everything has consequences. I was actually able to wrap my head around that one first because I got out of the mindset of things being good or bad. So it's just like, yeah, every cause and effect, you know what I'm saying? And so everything has a consequence, whether it's low vibrational or high vibrational is up to you, because cause and effect is in the play. But with the with the cost thing, I it took me so long to see that until I felt like I was in real life situations where I just actually seen it play out in my life, and I just felt like I was amazing, and then it came to the point to where I had to like wrap my mind around what people were meaning as cost. You know what I'm saying? And it was my definition of why I really couldn't see it of what a cost was, because I was thinking of it very generally and very, you know, archangelly. Like, this is your life is blissful. Nothing is a cost. You know what I'm saying? Everything,
Right.
like one of these, you know.
Right.
And, once I came down to earth, grounded myself, the light bulbs went off and I was like, oh shit, I get it. And being a mommy, and desiring to be the best mommy. And, like when I go on missions, I be on missions for real. Like I'm an extremist. I'm really learning in life how to, straight down the middle, how to find that harmony, that balance instead of from one extreme to the next. But that's always just how I work. I go from one extreme to the next. I learn both extremes and then I settle right in the middle. You know what I mean? But I didn't had a lot of tough situations just going from one extreme to the so now it's like I'm always just looking where the balance at, where the harmony at. Cause like we can't go far. Too far left, can't go too far, right? Like I'm over that. I'm getting older. I don't know
I
if I got
know.
time for that.
Far.
You know what I mean? Like I done been through too much. I'm cool, No, but I just feel like that comes with knowing, like I don't have to have these extremes anymore. And to have such a deep contrast to quote unquote learn or remember. I don't need it. But so yeah, so paying the cost, and then at the time I was looking at my life play out like a movie because this just happened to me recently, and I was like, oh shit. Like I was genuinely look, y'all. I did so good of a job of making the best out of my given situation that it was like I wasn't knowing until I was out of the situation, how less favorable that situation was. I mean, I knew it wasn't peaches and cream, but it was just like at the time I was paying the cost. Like, this is what I want for my child. I want her to have her father however that looks for me. I didn't care. I didn't give zero fucks. You know what I'm saying? Like genuinely, honestly, I didn't care. I didn't even have conversations with that dude if it wasn't about our child. I don't care. You know what I mean? You out all day. I don't care who you with. I don't even call you. Type of situation. It was like when I say I totally disconnected and just became about my daughter, but I paid a lot of costices. I paid a lot of prices. You know what I'm saying? And towards the end, it was almost my sanity. And then with being as aware as I am and was at the time, I could feel things getting kooky. And it got to the point in this situation, right? And I feel like this is monumental because there comes a space in everyone's growth where it's like either I gotta excel and I gotta take off, or I have to stay low vibrational because I'm not gonna survive. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I mean mentally, you're not gonna make it mentally. You know what I mean? And for
Mhm.
so many people, the going back low vibrational, it almost feels like a home. That energy imprint in your body is so familiar. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, yo, I could just give up and just, but if I keep, if I got to skyrocket and go here, yo, I mean, that could be a lot. What does that even look like? I don't even know what that looks like. I know what this shit over here looks like. I've been living it. I don't know what this shit over here looks like. And then who gonna be watching me? Then I got to keep up some shit. You know what I'm saying? I got to, like all of these things. But how bad do you want it? And either way, you're gonna pay a cost. So it's like, why not pay play in your favor? Pay and play in your favor. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? The
Yeah.
cost of losing people, the cost of having to mourn your losses. And that's not just people, that's your old lifestyle, the old you. You gotta mourn it, you know, because that shit lives in the body when you wake up one day and you don't recognize shit. You don't recognize your life because you didn't change that fast, that drastically. You know, you're going to pay the cost either way. So pay it and play it for yourself. We need a shirt. we need a
Exactly.
shirt. We need a shirt. But I chose not to go low vibrational. I already know what that ghetto ass shit look like. I don't want it. I got a big mouth already, but y'all should have seen me before, honey. It was big. It was real big. It was annoying because of the shit that was coming up out of it. Okay, ain't nobody got time for that.
Mhm.
Everybody got time for that,
Mhm.
and it just feels too damn good on this side, you know.
Right.
And then to know
Right.
that it could keep getting greater later. If you go back to where you was, like you it's inevitable. Everything changes and everything expands. So you just gonna get lower and lower in that vibration because you're gonna excel, you're gonna expand. So it's like, man, do you wanna swim in a pool of pain and misery and suffering and just I don't even want to wake up today. Like, damn, fuck, I woke up. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
whoa.
Right. Right. You got to move forward. And something else came to my mind. Just like you have to pay the price as far as investments, right? If you're investing in a business, investing in something or whatever, you have to pay the price, invest in whatever it is so that it can give you a huge return. So as far as paying the cost,
Mhm.
yeah, that's one way of looking at it. That's another way of looking at it in a positive way. So yeah, that just came to my mind. Instead of seeing it as, oh, this thing costs whatever to make it up, $1,500, whatever, just making up something. This costs $1,500. Oh, I gotta sit here and release this $1,500 so I can make 75,000. Come on, what? And, like, come on, like, don't even look. You got, especially let's say it's a guaranteed $75,000 type of situation because we know we talking about life too. So yeah, pay the cost and you're on the other side.
I'm going to use that like in my life. Like, okay, this is guaranteed. I'm about to pay 1,500 and I'm about to get 75,000 back. Let's go. See
Right.
that joy you feel right there, nigga? I'm using it. I'm going to eat it. Until I suck all
Exactly.
the energy up out of that and it don't feel so thrilling no more. Then I'm going on to something new. But as of
Right.
right now, it's I win.
Exactly. Exactly. It's
And I'm gonna
important.
pay
It's
that
important.
1,500. Mm.
You see what I'm saying? So that goes with the I'm scared. I'm too scared. I know it's gonna be better on the side, but I'm too scared to get over there. Pay the cost and go over to the great side. Come into the great side.
And too with leadership too. I feel like, let's talk about it because it really kind of get on my nerves a little bit. Paying the cost to be the boss, right? Everybody wanna chap off, you know. I'm from the Midwest. We say jap off, meaning you want to pop your shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you all of a sudden you a rapper. You know what I mean? You the boss of all bosses. You this, you that. Real bosses ain't talking about it because it's not. Most of us was kind of thrown in that situation. You know what I mean? Like you ain't signed up for that shit.
Right.
You did not sign up for it, and most didn't want it when it came. You know what I mean? Like I ain't want it when it
Mhm.
came. It was like, damn, that's a lot. I got to do what? Duh, 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 duh. You know. So first of all, it can be a very lonely space.
Very.
Leadership can be a very lonely space. Number one, because you are the leader. So a lot of times, or many times,
Gotta motivate yourself.
it's just the truth. It's just the truth. And real leaders know what I'm saying. Like it's lonely at the top because a lot of times in whatever role you're playing the leader in, you have more remembrance than the people that you are leading. you know so it's like kind of like it's only certain ideas or a certain level of ideas that you can bounce off with people, you know what I mean, because of just ignorance. You don't know what you don't know,
Right. And you have
so
to know
that can
things
be
to
lonely.
know things.
Say that
you
again.
have to you have to know a thing to know a thing.
Yeah, and so that can be a lonely space, and just
Yes.
feeling like you don't have someone to really talk to. um and then there a leader goes through spurts where you progress, right? And so y'all know how this feels. We are leaders supporting leaders, so I attract all leaders. You know what I'm saying? So they know what's up. You go through these periods too where we progress so much to where it's literally like every once you come to a certain level of awareness, this is my promise to you. It's like every so many years you're gonna shed people. It has to happen, and it's only because the pulsation of your vibration is rising. It's like it's inevitable. So there's going to be spaces in what we're calling time where hello is anybody out there type shit, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then you kind of like move on and progress, to another surroundings of people around you, you know what I mean? But it's just it's kind of what it is in this
Yeah.
growthing process. What else do y'all feel can be what's appropriate words, like kind of like the downside to leadership, because that's a thing. And then you can't quit when everybody else quit. Everybody else
Right.
quit and you want to quit. You can't quit.
Right. You have
You
to be
can't
a
give
self
up.
motivator. You have to be a self motivator. As a leader, regardless of your ups and downs and falling down, we are going to naturally get up regardless. We're going to get up because that is who we are. Because we're about truth. We want to know, we want to do what's right. We want the rewards of what's right. That drive is in us. It's part of who we are, who we be. It's part of our DNA. It's part of our sales. It's part of our quantumness. This is all up in there. So it's very hard when you have to shed people, especially when there's so much love there and they haven't, done stuff to just be mean to you or hurt you or do anything bad. It's just literally you're moving up layers. They aren't. They're staying at their stagnancy or their self, whatever that is. Whether they're supposed to move up and they choose not to, or they're just on in their uh life theme, they're just wherever they are. whatever it is.
That's perfect to say that because sometimes people feel like you got to let people go just because they done something. But there's also those cases where they have not done nothing. You know what I mean? And where they are is fine. It's just that because you upgraded, you know what I'm saying? So did your qualifications, so did your standards. So what you used to could tolerate, now not so much. You know what I'm saying? I love you, but you're just not in that space. You know,
Right.
where let me use a man for an example, and give y'all something to talk about, right? Because I don't care. I'm old school with it, and I just feel like a man should be the provider. And nigga, if I ain't got me, you do. And I don't even have to worry about having me because you do. Okay. That's how I feel. That's just it. You know? So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
well, we ain't gonna talk about age, but you know, when I was a young thing and everything, you know what I'm saying? For a minute I had this philosophy like, oh, I got it. You know what I mean? So the lover, he ain't gotta have it like I got it. You know what I'm saying? Cause I genuinely got it. You know, so you just had to have a little something, something, and it was okay. My standards have risen. Nigga, no. Like, and let me tell you what it's about because, you know, Kanye just came in my head. I ain't saying she a gold digger, but she ain't fucking with no broke nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm a gold digger, but I just ain't fucking with no broke nigga. You understand? And
Mm-hmm.
let me tell you why. Because in order for you to be in a space where you can financially support yourself and others as a man, because that's what y'all should be working towards. Being a man is being able to support yourself and a family, right? Just in case your dangalang meets a vagina and puts a baby in there, okay? That's what all y'all should be on, that type of time anyway, okay? And so the level of discipline that it takes, basically, without me going into grave detail, the mental strength that it takes for you to set yourself up to be able to be a provider, okay? That's what I'm talking about. That's all the juicy goodness. And I'm saying I ain't no gold digger, but it's the mental strength that it takes for a masculine to be that strong, okay? Mentally, where he didn't attracted all the goods and he's sharing them as I'm meant to receive them. Okay. He's giving them as I'm meant to receive. Okay. That's all I'm saying. So, in a case you could have a male that's in your life and it's cute and everything, but nigga, I've moved up, I've upgraded. So, like, I love you, but you know, I need you to find someone that's in love, that's going to be deep in love with what you got going on. And right now, I need to find someone that is going to praise, honor, and have reverence for me. And is going to do what it takes to be mentally strong enough to take care of me. Okay? That's all I'm saying. So it ain't just about people doing things to you. It's just about your standards raising. It's just about you as a person upgrading, you know. You know what I'm saying? Goddesses. Mm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I do. I do understand. It's a holistic. It's a holistic thing. It's a holistic thing because you do have men who do take care, but still spiritually is not aligned.
And okay, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about it because this is popular. I hear all the time. Oh, let's talk about it because I got some feelings about it and I ain't sorted them out yet. But I just know I feel very strongly. Okay, I've heard several people speak on this. Okay, and I've even heard she's very boisterous and very opinionated. Vicky Dillard was even saying that for those who are not spiritual, who are spiritual in relationships with like kind of non, consciously spiritual people, to work that out. Like as long as they treating you right, treating you good and everything, like work, like it's okay that they not spiritual. And then I've also heard spiritual people say that they are in relation with non-spiritual people, and it kind of works out. How do y'all feel about this?
That depends on your own theme.
But I'm saying it's in large numbers to me. It's in large numbers where people are saying that non-spiritual people can be with spiritual people. And this is the way I feel like. I feel like if you living your best life, which if you is spiritual, then you supposed to be on the way to living your best life. Okay? For your optimal good. I can't be in love, 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 love with you like that if I feel like you don't understand me. And you can't fully, 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 fully understand me or understand me, nigga, if you ain't spiritual. How that work? How that go?
Well, it depends on how you look at spirituality, because some people,
Speak on it, Brady.
some people just like I've met guys who just are naturally in tune. Like they don't, you know, meditate on a regular basis in a regular way that people think you should meditate. They're just genuinely good men that, so yeah, it depends on your view of spirituality. You know, does somebody have to like be outright, you know, um, doing their, meditations and ancestral work and energy work and stuff like, where
No, I don't
or,
mean like that. I
like,
mean to have the
like,
knowledge that you're having a human experience, to have the know that there are these two
yeah,
planes, physical and
yeah,
non-physical.
like some, and
Okay, you call
there's
him. Is
some
that
people
you
who
that
are
call
just
him
like,
Normie Brady K? Did you use that term before? Normie.
no,
I think it's Nigel. Nigel calls them the normies. I'm talking about the people that really think that their human self is all there is.
Right. The
You know
3D
what I'm saying?
mindset.
And
okay.
things
The
happen
totally
by
3D mindset.
coincidence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
no,
got
I
into
don't get
that
along
car
with those people.
accident and it just happened. It was some a random string of events. Why I didn't got into 3 accidents this year. you know. And my trauma from back in the day, yeah, I mean, but that's what life is. That's what I'm supposed to go through. Blase split. I mean, the normies. That's what I'm talking about. How do you do that? And like
I don't,
really be in love. Like, don't it feel like you selling yourself short? I mean, for real, let's
yeah,
speak on it because this
no.
is a big topic. How you be in love with a normie?
Well, I'm big on frequencies, so you could call yourself spiritual and still be at the same frequency of a normie and call yourself in love. It depends on your frequency. Everything is frequency. And
Yeah, I'm not saying a normie is below or above. I'm just
yeah, no,
saying
I know. That's why
what
I'm saying, n- no, I'm not saying you're saying they're a below or above.
Yeah, but
I'm
like,
just
how do
saying
you communicate? Like, what y'all talk about? Like,
it if you're on the same frequency, you're gonna find things. If you're on the same frequency, period.
it
She
rained
talking about
today.
she talking about where you're not on the same frequency. Then how do you deal with that?
Well,
Well,
you got to be on the
there
same
is no
frequency, or you
yeah,
wouldn't
there is
exist
no
to that
dealing.
person. But
Yeah,
but
exactly.
y'all are on different vibrations. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is
Well, yeah.
how I dealt with someone that there was a physical attraction there, but we could not communicate. There was love there. There was. I cared about that person cared about me. But when like I really felt a disconnect because what's near and dear to my heart are most things spiritual. And like you're really dealing with someone that really think they're in a human body and they're having a for real, they are a for real human.
And that's it. And that's basically it. I understand what you're saying. So you when you kept saying, how can you really be in love? Okay.
How
So
do you love?
um it's more of okay, this is where I am. This is where I think about this. You get with them when you're at a certain vibration, right? And y'all vibrations link and you fall in love and you're happy and things are going great and wonderful between you. Just so in love, so in love. But and the love doesn't dissipate or go anywhere because it's real genuine love. But when one person starts elevating, having more, and not just elevating for
Your
elevating
vibration.
sake, not elevating for elevating sake, thriving to elevate, working on the elevation, being led by the elevation, enjoying the elevation, um, more understanding coming in. Oh, that's why this happens. This happens because of that. Oh, now, oh, that's why I used to do that. Oh, I have this, I have that, and it's just getting bigger and bigger and more broad and more exciting. Well, what ends up happening if one person in the relationship is doing that and the other person is not doing that at all, and they are just comfortable with their 3D life and they see things from the 3D life. Not saying they don't see anything spiritually, but it's still more so on a 3D level. The person that's just constantly rising, not saying that the person is like you're beneath me and you're bad. Not
No,
that's not
right.
what I'm saying. That's not the point. It's the person who's rising and rising. What ends up happening, no matter how much they love and adore that person, the disconnect starts happening. Um,
Because you're on
because of like
different
you're saying,
frequencies.
we can't even talk. We can't like if I have all this elevated information and this person doesn't, then the communication, then this person right here at this who's elevating, they have to bring themselves down to that loving person's mindset level to have conversations. But you already but inside you're up here. You're elevated. You understand so much. You learn so many things. You understand? And so you got to come down. And so then when you come down and then you tell this person things that's going on, all the big giant, oh my, well, this is awesome. I can do this now, and I can do that, and I can levitate. I'm just making up stuff, but you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well,
No, that's the
this
thing.
person, right? No, exactly. This person who's in the 3D mindset, they can't get it, they can't understand it. It's over their head.
Not on your
I
frequency.
don't right. I support you. I'm glad you're there. I think it's awesome. But the disconnect starts happening more and more. The love doesn't change. The love is still the powerful love because you love them. But what
And
happens
I
is the
mean,
person
like everything else, love grows, it expands. So, like I love everyone. That's a truth. Um, but there's levels to this shit. Like I'm gonna
no,
be
you're
real
right because
Hang
honest.
sometimes
around
you are
everybody.
unreal. You said what?
I said you love everybody, but you don't hang around everybody. You don't
Right.
have
Right,
And
everybody in close in your life.
yeah, and
right.
there's levels to that. And I
No,
just
you're
feel
right.
like as a partner, like what you're saying is exactly what I'm feeling. Like that's gonna go on and how it's almost like you selling yourself short. Like how deep in love can you be with someone that doesn't understand you? You know what I mean? Like it's only, it's like I really want to interview or talk to someone who is in a relationship with someone that's what I call a normie or doesn't think that that shit is important.
Oh, the one you said my oh, I see you saying a person doesn't think that stuff is important. And okay, in my opinion, and I could this is just my opinion. People,
'Cause I
everybody
don't
got their
get
own.
it.
People have their own
To
areas
me,
of
you're
looking at stuff.
settling.
I was getting ready to say that it gets to the point where you realize that you are settling and you're anchored. You're anchored, tethered. You're tethered, and is interfering, even though you're still moving up, it's interfering with stuff. And there's a scripture that says, "How can two walk together lest they be agreed?" The yin and yang starts happening. You know what I'm saying? A separation is inevitable, regardless of if you want it to be or not. A separation is inevitable because you're going to on two
You're not
different
on the same
directions.
frequency,
Exactly. It is that's what happens. It is what it is. You hear
no matter
wealthy
how much you
people,
love them. Yeah.
right? You hear wealthy people talk about how like they was like this, right? Everybody's quote quote broke or whatever, and then a person who has money, things is just totally they you people fall off because you're in two different frequencies, you're in two different vibrations. It is what it is. It's not fun, it hurts, it's painful, but it's at the point where you gotta love the person enough to let them go so they can move on to where they're going, and you move on to where you're going,
And
because
at the very least, if it hurts that much, at least think of it in their state where they can genuinely find someone who's in love with them. You know what I mean? Like give them that love that you can't. Like I don't see that shit. Like I've tried to wrap my mind around and go through different angles of it, but I'm like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? Like to me, at the end of the day, the the person that is consciously spiritual plays themselves. Because it gets to a point where you can only communicate about certain things.
Mhm.
And if
And
you are staying in a relationship like that, then there's something that you can't let go of that you're not ready to, or, some reason you're hanging on to that person that's holding you down.
And it's going to stagnate growth.
hmm,
It
isn't that?
is. It's going to stagnate growth, and it's where you you genuinely love the person, but you can't hang on to attachment when you're supposed to move forward.
If you love them, let them go.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what it is. You have to love them enough to let them go, regardless of how much it hurts, because at the end of the day, you realize you're on two different paths. So you got to move forward. You can't keep, it's
Yeah.
actually both people, in my opinion, remember, this is my opinion, it's actually both people keeping each other stagnant, because there's a connection that's starting, that's uh, um, the connection is untangling. That's not the word I'm looking for. Untethering, whatever. It's like, you like this, right? You tight like this, and then the growth is happening, and this is happening. This is what's happening. And when you see this, you still love, but it's so much stuff going on. It's still a whole spiritual thing going on, and so this is what's going on. And if especially this person who's moving up, if they keep going like this, right? Then they're now stagnant and not moving into where they're supposed to go, because you know and you feel the moving away to your destiny, to what you're supposed to do. So it's, even though it hurts, it's fair and it's right to let that person go so they can be with somebody who they are in alignment with, and you move forward for the same thing, and trust, and that everything's gonna be fine. You have to love a person enough to let them go. It's that simple. Even though it's not simple, it's simple to say, but it is what it is.
Mm.
And sometimes that can be a shock to them that gets them to wake up and change their ways, and maybe in the future you could come back around together when they
Mhm.
um get to your vibration, if they get to your vibration.
If they do, but you also know. Then here, I'm glad you said that. It's also we are with different people and different types of aspects for reason, season, lifetime. So that relationship could not have any loving issues, right? But you were there for each other to help each other grow to a certain point. Thank you so much. I love you so much. Thank you so much. I love you so much. I hate to let this love go, but we've done what we're supposed to do for each other. It is now complete, and it's time to move on to the next stages of our lives. There's different levels. It's not easy. It is not easy. It is not easy, but it's the best for both parties
Yeah.
because we came here to have an experience. You understand? We came here. There's things we have to do, and we cannot allow a human to a situation with a human to stop us because of the attachment, to stop us from moving forward for what our greater good is for ourselves and for the collective. You have to look at it in a broad space. Why am I here? What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to allow this person? Am I supposed to stay with this person that's going to stop the whole point of why I came to this earth, to this construct? No.
No.
So a random question just popped in my mind, and
Okay.
it's so random. I think that we should discuss it.
Yeah.
How do you know when your vagina is happy?
That's hilarious. Expect that one. That was out of nowhere.
How do you know when your vagina is happy? Who wants to go first?
I let Brady go first.
I know when my vagina is happy because I feel good.
Mm.
Um, I feel more confident when my vagina is happy. Like just yeah, it's a confidence thing. It's like the confidence just goes through the roof, you know. And and then when she's not feeling good, like just want to crawl in bed and not come out.
Hmm.
So, yeah, that's how I know.
Interesting. How do you know when your vagina is happy? When it is not craving for more.
Hmm. More what?
More of happiness. When it's not feeling lack. When it's
Like,
not feeling, and I'm not talking about like sizes and stuff like that. I'm not even there. I'm talking about if you still if it's still feeling unfulfilled, then I know it's not happy. And that's emotionally, spiritually, all the alleys.
Okay, honey. That is hilarious. I don't know why. My job is so interesting. Like it was not even you talking to me anymore. It was like your vagina was literally talking to me. Like,
That's hilarious.
yo, what is that? You know the Venus flytrap?
Right,
She like I could do this all day. Like I never get full. Like my belly's never empty, bitch. What are you talking about? Like give me more, see more.
right, right. That's funny. You talking about mine or hers?
Yours.
Okay, that's funny.
Brady's
That is
vagina feels similar to mine, like a breeze in the wind. Like ooh, you know.
that's funny. That's funny because like okay, uh, there, a female can really trick herself,
Mm.
and so let's say she can be like, he is well endowed. And when it's done, it's like, woo, yeah, right? Fireworks. But still, if at the when it's over, if you still feel that you are lacking something, if it's still feeling unfulfilled or a lack, then it's not happy.
You
That's
know
my
what's
opinion.
you know what's interesting about that is
You need to feel
there's been
complete.
so many times that my vagina was like, no, don't have sex with this guy, run. And I would ignore it because
Mm.
I was
Yeah,
like, oh no, I have to do whatever he wants me to do. So he'll stay around and he'll he'll take me as his wife and that all
Yeah.
the
right,
delusional shit, right?
right.
And and so yeah, it's really important for us to really listen to our instincts when it comes to men and who we're talking to and stuff like that. And a lot of times I, a lot of times I just ignored her.
Mm-hmm.
And so now
Mhm.
I'm listening intently and I'm grateful for this time of pause because it's really helping me focus on myself and getting to know like my energy and what type of energy I like on all that.
So
And
Brady,
that's so fun.
Yeah.
so Brady, when you had sex and you knew I shouldn't have sex with this man, right? And then after the sexual act was over, regardless of how good it was during, how did you feel after? How did your vagina feel after? What was the energy?
Most of the time I just felt like dirty. But I felt like I had just like violated myself,
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't listen. And it would always end up like, you know, either I would never see the guy again or like, it would like taper off or whatever. But yeah, it just was never a good feeling afterwards.
And that's what women definitely need to start paying attention to, is that's her body talking to her when she knows she's not supposed to be with somebody and she gives in anyway because of the lack that she's feeling
Yeah, I
towards
felt
her
so
own self.
lonely. I felt
Mm-hmm.
so lonely that I would just justify like anything like, oh, well, you got to do this because, that he'll stick around and then you won't be alone for the rest of your life. And I put myself in so many fucked up situations because of thinking like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. I've seen that play out many times with women. Um, I've always kind of like been a lone star. So, um, it's so man, that's a whole nother topic too. Loneliness. Okay. Okay. Before we go down that rabbit hole, because I feel like that might be a little bit of a tiny rabbit hole. Um, how I know my vagina is happy. Yo, there is this anything you can do, I can do better. You know what I mean? Like Brady said, that confidence, like
Yeah.
I feel like freedom itself walking, and like invincible. You know what I'm saying? That's when I know she's happy. When it's funny, but when I'm kind of like uh content, I kind of like use my telepathy and be like, "You good down there, girl?"
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You
Yeah.
good? Maybe she'll be like, "Girl, well, you ain't shaved us in a minute. At least have me looking pretty, or you ain't looked at us in a minute. Why it's been so long since you didn't looked at us? Like you used to look at us every
So,
day. Like what the fuck is popping? You know what I mean?"
mhm.
Um, oh, I forgot about um so there's a sense of freedom. Um and like I said, I just it's like there's a constant Beyonce fan blowing, you know? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Funny.
yes. Um, and what's interesting with the whole sexual thing too, even wow. I never really even thought about that. Like um how she felt, not like my human aspect, but how she felt behind certain sexual experiences. And it's so funny as y'all were talking and I was, like actually going back to some certain spaces, the difference of how my vessel felt versus how she felt. Because there were some spaces where as my human self felt the way, okay? And my nanny was like, bitch, please. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? Like almost empowering. You know what I mean? Like like a drop the mic. Like that is so I have to go and sit with that. Like what that's well, she is Akasha's come forth now. Never mind. Akasha's like, bitch, because I've been in that thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
You
Like you
gave
was
both.
feeling a way. We were excited. Like we were getting some activity down here. You know what I mean? Like you was
Right,
thinking too hard about that shit.
right. That's funny.
Wow. That's so interesting. Okay, so back to the lonely thing. I would notice certain patterns, and it's not just even with women and men dynamics, but also just friends. Like I had this friend. Um, what's also interesting, Brady K, is I seen it a lot in the Aries because also my cousin just popped in my head, and she's an Aries too, and I would notice that she would also hang around certain women that she couldn't really stand, or she was really jealous of. Now, before we
Mm.
go any deeper in this, we talking about some very low vibrational Aries.
Yeah.
These two women that I'm about to talk about. Okay, let's talk about it. Um, but my cousin, I mean, my cousin had a jealousy streak that was so bad. Like, she would not introduce me to her hairstylist. Okay. And then it took her over a year. And one day, I can't remember what happened, but I had an emergency situation because I usually always have a hairstylist, but I had an emergency situation. And finally, she gave me the bitch's number. Okay. But she had to be there. And then she was like, her son was getting out of school and she was like, oh, I got to go get ready to pick up. And we was like, go pick up your baby. And then she was like, cuz, you want to come with me? No, bitch, I'm getting my hair done. What the fuck? And then when she left, because I'm thinking the chick might not know. This is my cousin. So I know her. I know how she get down. And then the chick was like, yo, she be bugging. Like, why is she so jealous? Like, so we can't be here by ourselves. I was like, right. You know what I mean? Like that type of vibe. But anyway, she used to hang out with chicks she couldn't stand, chicks she didn't like or was jealous of or was in some type of competition with because she was bored because she didn't want to be by herself.
Oh.
Because she did not want to be by herself. Then I had another chick, I call some women dick hikers. You know what I'm saying? Like they're motivated by men. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll throw you under the bus, shoot you in the back of the head
Mm.
for, you know what I'm saying, over some penis. Like, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, I had a friend that was like that. And yo, she would not like some of these dudes. And then when she would come in and, after she had done maybe a little bit of strange for some change, you know what I'm saying? And it was amazing how oblivious she was.
Mm.
You know, like it's almost where you done been in, where like you just done got so used to pain, maybe to
Yeah.
where you keep perpetuating that same cycle or putting yourself in that same situation because you're just so used to it. But it would be
Yeah.
like, girl, why you doing that? You don't like it, don't do it. Like it's just that simple.
Right. It's like, what are you talking about? Don't do it. What do you mean?
Yeah, but this happens to people. So
It does.
this one time, girl, she would be telling me these crazy stories. So this one time she was in Florida. I'll make it real quick. She was in Florida. She was actually literally kidnapped and held. Like when dude would leave, he had one of those outside and inside locks. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So he would lock her in the house. And bitch, I'm asking all kind of questions. Because I'm like, first of all, he lured her there, and she's into designer, everything, you know what I mean? So it's really not that hard, But in her mind, she was just gonna give up a little something, something to get a little something, something, if that makes sense. So she went to
Mm-hmm.
the house and he kidnapped her. And the way she is telling this story is so, you know, um, I'm she wasn't numb though. It's kind of like I have more emotion about the story right now than she did. Like it was just like, why you talking like bitch when you went to the grocery store and
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm
Like,
saying?
oh, it just happened. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's just
And so
like,
the first night we had sex, and then so the next time, I didn't want to, and I was really kind of telling him I wanted to go home, and he would not let me leave. And then, then the next day he leaves, and then it dawns on me like the door is locked from the outside, and then he kind of like pushed himself on me because I was kind of telling I don't want to do that. So I was like, so he was raping on you. She was like, yeah, you could say that. Yeah, he was. He was raping me, and he wouldn't let me leave. Like that's how she talking.
Not traumatized at all. Just as a matter
Yeah,
of fact,
just like,
that's
why is he
interesting.
acting like this?
yeah.
That's
And
interesting.
then, it was like once she really just surrendered, you know what I'm saying, to the process, then he kind of let her go. But I was like, girl, so what did he have? Like bars on the windows? Like, why wasn't you trying to
Right.
break
First off, you can get out the window.
his windows? You know what I'm saying? Like, did you walk around the house? And she was, the look on her face was like, that shit didn't even dawn on her. You know what I
Uh,
mean? Like, what he said
that's what it was.
was what it was. Bitch, ain't no way for you
Wow.
out of here. You can't go nowhere till I say you can go somewhere. And bitch, that's what it is, type shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Wild.
and
Right.
she that same like she would end up in situations like this all the time. And she would constantly hang out with men that she just wasn't even feeling, just to be like fucking hanging out, just to be out doing something. And I would be like, girl, what's wrong with you? I would be like, friend, why did you do that? She's like, I don't know, it's just something to do. Why do you always have to have something to do, bitch? And I was like, go eat or something. Like,
Right. Go to the movies.
and
I
then
was
she's
talking,
an attractive chick. So it's like you can just go to a bar or lounge by yourself. You know what I'm saying? And meet somebody if that's the case. You know? So that loneliness is very interesting and what the extent that people will go through to not feel lonely.
That self love is so important. And what were you going to say, Brady?
I was just talking to my sister about this, how like, because I keep telling her she needs to put herself first and do more self-love and stuff. And we were talking about how she cooks dinner for her boyfriend every night. I was like, well, you need to stop that shit. It's like, take a break, you know? And she's like, I have. She's like, but I really like it. I'm like, why? Because it distracts you from actually focusing on yourself and elevating yourself. She's like, yeah, you're right. Because we do that. We tend to do that. Like, I know I was guilty of that. Like I did everything I could to keep busy all the time. I went straight from work to hanging out with friends who didn't care about me, only cared about what I could do for them. Like it's oh
It
yeah,
sounds
self-love is
exhausting.
very important. It is exhausting. It's exhausting just remembering it and thinking about it. That's why I'm like, oh, I don't because I would literally like be walking home at 4 in the morning, like, Brady, why are you like you're walking home by yourself? Like nobody cares if you are getting home okay. Like, this isn't what you want. And like I would always think like that and every time I came, but I would still go and hang out with those people because I just didn't want to be alone.
And then if there's, people that are viewing this that feel this, it's like, what about yourself don't you want to see?
Mm-hmm.
Or what thoughts is on replay that you running from? Like what parts of yourself are you trying to avoid and why?
Yeah. Well, for me, I was afraid that everything people told me was true, like that I'm ugly, that I'm fat, that so it's like, oh, well, the more people I hang around and the more guys that want to have sex with me, like the less true that is, right? So I justified it in that way a lot.
I think that's a major. So I feel like as women, all of us, and I've known very, 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 very attractive women. And I feel like all of us, there is something about us that we don't or didn't like. You know what I mean? So, what is a technique that you used to gain more confidence or like a certain aspect of yourself that you didn't like? I mean, I can start. First, it was my nose. When I was little, I used to be like, I have such a pig nose. Was I born with this nose? you know? And then, how old was I? I spent a few years in my 20s. Like sometimes I would be like, I just didn't feel attractive. And I just remember, okay, this sounds really bad, but it's how I got over myself, right? So first it started where I seen people that I genuinely thought were ugly. And I'd be like, yo, it is someone for everyone.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
someone out here thinks that I'm fucking gorgeous. Okay. It started off like that. And then that turned into, yo, I was made and created like this to attract whoever I'm supposed to attract, you know? And then it's like genuinely having these things on repeat when I was feeling unattractive really helped me feel better about myself. And then I got to the point to where you couldn't tell me shit. Like I don't care if you think I'm attractive or not because I do. You know what I'm saying? And if you
Mhm.
don't, I'm not meant for you, and that's okay. But why would you even feel the need to tell me that?
Right.
You know what I mean? And then it got to the point to where like I don't even think about that shit. You know?
Right.
I get dressed for myself. Like even doing these shows sometimes. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times I won't have on any makeup or I have on a little something, cover my mommy bags, but no eyelash, no eyeliner, nothing. And then some days I be like, I just wanna hey girl. Ain't got shit to do with anybody else. It's just me wanting to look at me and be like, ow.
Right.
you know?
Right.
But what are some things that y'all use to feel better about some things that you was not so pleased with? Y'all playing double dutch? Just hop
No,
in.
I got to talking a lot, so I didn't want to just jump and say something. I wanted to make sure I give Brady her time. Okay. Uh, so, hmm. So for me, I always thought I was cute. Of course, I went through, oh, you ugly, and like I remember when I used to hear that, I'd be like, what? That's crazy. Like, what? This be talking crazy. Because, like, my daddy used to always, like, let me know I'm pretty and stuff, right? And so, um, the first time that I felt that I had a problem, because I was a skinny girl, but I was a cute little girl, and I was very skinny. And I thought I was perfectly fine. I didn't see anything wrong with me. I didn't have problems with fat people, skinny, medium. I'm like, everybody has their own body type. It's a rainbow of people, a rainbow of sizes. Everybody's whoever they are. Sixth grade was when I went through finding out that there are people who have issues with how you look. It happened in sixth grade for me, and that was very very traumatic. But it's okay. And so when I was getting picked on, because I was getting picked on for being skinny, and so it was like, what's wrong with my body? I'm like, what's wrong with being skinny? Like, I don't, I literally, I couldn't comprehend. It didn't make any sense
Yeah.
to me. And but then it went from that to, because I literally was like, my daddy says I'm pretty. That's your first male that helps you, have yourself, your self worth and stuff, right? And so I'm like, I'm looking at them like they tripping. My daddy said I'm pretty, I'm cute, and then when you little, like, oh, she gonna be a heartbreaker, stuff like that. So I grew up thinking I'm cute. It is what it is. That's it. So then sixth grade, I started getting picked up for being skinny, and it did a whole shift, y'all. A whole shift in my mind where I was like, oh, I'm skinny. That's a problem. That's bad. That's not cute. That's not ugly. To the point where I'm telling my mom and daddy how I was getting picked on for being skinny, and they're like, "Don't listen to them. You're beautiful, and you wait till you get older. You gonna feel out a little. Getting older sound like 100 years in the future. You know what I'm saying?" And so it went from, it didn't matter what my mom and daddy said. What mattered was what everybody else was saying out there, right? And so I went through years of a complex of I'm too skinny. I got this going on. I got that going on. And so, law of attraction, you're gonna get more of, dang, you skinny.
So what'd you do
And
about it?
so what I did was I just started accepting myself. I went through a lot. It took years. It took years. Because part of me was like, I'm still cute. I don't give a darn. I started gaining weight, filling out. Like when I had my children, start filling out a little bit more, right? Start filling out a little more. The womanly shape is still coming in. Still slim though. The snatch back after me having babies, I didn't go through being fat. I was a little bit thicker. Stomach went to flat. Boobs a little bit bigger. I'm like, oh, okay. That what I think what it was literally what my father said, when you get older, you're gonna feel out. You're gonna feel out. You're gonna come into your womanly figure and stuff. And when that started happening,
Mm-hmm.
that's when it started being better for me. But I still always thought I was cute in the face, like regardless of how my people, and most people didn't even pick on me, y'all. You know what I'm saying? But but I always felt like I'm cute. I don't care. I got a beautiful smile. I got pretty eyes. I went through different skin colors. Yeah, such I went from being a very dark skin to light brown to real light skin and back and forth. It's really crazy the chameleon colors that I went through. But uh, but as far as the overall, uh, my boyfriend had helped me with the big situation I went through with the being called. I was called sticks. I'm not even going to all that, but it was very traumatic for me. I was called sticks, and the way that he had talked to me, it helped. He literally alchemized the whole sticks to, ooh, ooh, look at my sticks. She's so thick and beautiful, and look at that butt and little. You see what I'm saying? He totally he took away the power of sticks. You right, to the point where wait, to the point where I had my license plate and I put sticks back there. Y'all, sticks was like my horrible kryptonite, and it went to empowerment. So that helped me. That helped me, and also the guy that all that trauma came from. Me and him got to talk years later, and he didn't even know because we children. He didn't even know, of course, that affected my the situation that happened affected my life really bad. Followed me to my 40s, and we talked, and he was just so sorry and felt bad. Come to find out he really liked me. It was actually the boy I ended up getting with later on who started all the mess. But it's crazy. I got closure, and when with him feeling so bad, he felt so bad that he cried. I was like, whoa, right? And that helped to just pull out all those years of mess, and it was gone and dissipated. And then with my boyfriend turning with him getting it and alchemizing it, it all happened around the same time. It was a huge healing. So it was actually, so I'm gonna put it like this: how did I do it? By my higher self reflecting through these other people to help myself heal.
Exactly. Brady.
Oh gosh. I didn't I don't think I really really loved my body until like recently. Um maybe I guess like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. 'Cause I had lost a bunch of weight, and like I started having confidence in myself and like thinking like, oh, I am pretty. And like,
Mm-hmm.
but I was, just constantly teased throughout school, like from a young age, like third grade, second grade on up. And then in 11th grade, I had a friend come to school who like she was so popular, everybody loved her, and they're like, why do you want to hang out with Brady? Like, and she's like, oh, Brady's amazing, like she's awesome, she's fun, da da da. And so then everybody wanted to hang out with me, and but that still didn't really do much for my self-esteem. But yeah, when I lost weight, that helped. And then um I don't know, I just kind of was like going back and forth between, like, I'd have my days where I just thought I was just the ugliest thing in the world, and I have my days where I was like, "Oh, you cute girl," you
Mm-hmm.
know. But it it didn't really get balanced out. Like now, I can look in the mirror at myself naked and just be like, "Ooh, I love you," and just like, rub myself and just love myself and hug myself and kiss myself. But that took time. Like I had to really fake it at first,
Mm-hmm.
and I had heard someone say, was listening to these seven sacred prayers that Brother Rich had sent us for one of the workshops he did, and
Yeah.
they had said it. One of the guys had said in there, like, um, make sure you look in the mirror every day and tell yourself that you love yourself. And when I heard that, I was like, okay, I have to do that every day. And so I just started doing that every day. And it's like that one little thing just like really snowballed into a whole nother. And then like the people and things you attract when you're just like doing, and even, that's like one little thing I did every day, like that 1% change just like kept getting bigger and bit, like it just kept multiplying. It was 1% one day, but then the next day it would be like 10%, not the next day, but you know
No,
what
I
I'm
get you.
like,
Yeah.
you know.
Made
So
monumental change.
yeah, like, so even like, don't, like, I used to think that I had to do like these big things to, like, I have to, you know go get a therapist, and I have to, you know, um, like, oh, I should take a course, or do these big things to help myself to get over these things. But it's really like the smallest things we can do. Like it, if you like, and I used to think it was so insignificant. Like I don't have to tell myself I love myself. Of course I love myself. But no, you need to hear it. Yourself needs to hear it.
And
And so
it's
that's what
basically
really
training your
changed.
subconscious too. It
Yeah. And
really is.
and yeah, so I think that was in like 2022, 2023, something like that. But so it was pretty recent. Like, so I went most of my life like teeter-tottering on hatred for myself.
Mm-hmm.
So just for those of you out there, it's never too late. Never too late.
Listen. And what about you, April?
I went first. um, but too, just to add on to, look, I'm a visual person. Visual medit. Okay, not just I'm a visual person, but how your mind works. Whatever you visualize, it doesn't know if you're living it or not. You know what I'm
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
saying? And so it'll play it out. And it really does that too. So, in the beginning I used to be super, 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 super skinny, like super skinny, and I wasn't pleased with it. I didn't necessarily dislike my body, but I felt like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm curvy. Like what this thing look like with some weight on it. So I went on a mission, and I used to visualize myself with the weight on me. And that changed my appearance dramatically. Like even now looking back at pictures when I was in that space where I wanted to have that weight on me, like my little cheeks very, like it's just so interesting. Anyway, so the visual works out a lot. Um I love Brady's mirror exercise because I didn't use that for my confidence, but I've used the mirror exercise for other things. And that shit works. And just looking at yourself every day, and saying, like, my shit is I win, and putting the emotion into it too. Like I said, we're training our subconscious. When you train that subconscious, your material world changes before you. Okay. So the mirror thing works. The visual meditations, of course, that's like that's old faithful. I'm just saying. And the journaling. Let me tell you how magical journaling is. And just no judgment, no bias, just zoning out. So, believe in it is given or believe in it is something by Abraham Hicks. Book they wrote a long, long, long time ago. But anyway, there was some exercises that they had in there, and I took them and I made them a part of my journal activity for like 30 days or something like that. And what is so funny was even and then I would take days because I would have the same journals, and I would just go back and like kind of read my journals. You know what I'm saying? Like I would pick a day instead of journaling, I would actually go back and read what I was writing. And I'm not playing with y'all. Like I had gotten so thicker with a snicker, and I was drinking a lot. And I didn't know I had fibroids. And so my stomach wasn't big, but I'm used to having an 8 pack. You know what I mean? Because I used to be so small and super muscular. Like I've always been super duper muscular. Super. I mean, since teenage. And I'm one of those people too where I go to the gym and start working out. And a week later it's like, damn, where the muscles? Yes. I've been that fortunate. Okay. Um, yes. So, I'm writing down, they got you supposed to write down like how you want your body to look, all these things. And then, how you want your home to look, all these things. And I kid you not, I'm not joking. I did notice over that year, I would go, like I said, I would go back and look at my journal, see what I wrote, da, 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 da. And the stuff that I was writing in there, I could see the change in my vessel. Like, I'm not bullshitting. I'm not bullshitting, y'all. So journaling helps. you know? So anyway, do y'all want to close us out with some final words? We've been up here for quite
I
some time.
do.
I feel like we did a
I
great job.
do. I want to add one thing to what you said.
Mm.
As far as another thing to add to the list is talking to your body. So me and my family, me and my girls, we all about booties, right? Gotta have a booty, one booty, but whatever, right? No flat, nothing. We want butts. So that's a big thing to us. And so I've always had butt, but I wanted it bigger, right? And so I had learned it from some video I saw on YouTube, right? How you can talk to your cells and they have to obey you.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna talk to the cells of my butt and make my butt bigger, right? And so I was serious. You can't play with it. You gotta have full intention. You gotta know it's gonna happen. You gotta be serious about it, right? Even though I had fun with it. So I was talking to my so look, let's say it's a combination of mirror and talking to yourself because I'm in the mirror looking at my butt and I'm talking to it and telling how it's gonna get bigger and visualization goes in where I'm seeing it bigger. I'm looking at the shape I want it to be and all that kind of stuff. And so the guy I was with at that time, I was like, this is good. I didn't tell him what I was doing, y'all. I did not tell him what I was doing. And so like a few days, like literally a few days later, I was walking. He was like, damn, Janita, what the heck? Your butt grew overnight? Y'all talking about excitement? I was like, I was so happy. And I was like, oh, I can change anything. You know what I'm saying? He was like, what the hell? That's crazy. And I was just like, I did it. I made my butt grow. I talked to my cell, my butt cells and made my butt grow. And I was like, it worked. And I was so excited. So y'all, that's another thing that you can do. You can change parts of your body if you so choose. So there you go.
I'm gonna try that with my cellulite. and we're gonna see what
but
happens.
so as far as my last final words, as I say constantly, it all comes down to loving yourself. You have to love yourself. You have to take the time, go through the process of loving yourself. The more you love yourself, the better your life will be. The more you stop running from things. Love yourself, love yourself, love yourself. That's my final.
Yes. And along with loving yourself, you know, embrace your authentic self. Like be your truest self all the time. No regrets, no apologies, just living your truth all the time.
Mhm. And no judging yourself on what your truth looks like from moment to moment. Because it can
Mm-hmm.
change from moment to moment.
Yeah.
Yes,
Mm. Well, thank y'all so much.
you're welcome.
Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Celestial Quantum Healing. peace, 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 peace to the gods and the goddesses. We appreciate y'all for tuning in with us. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with another spectacular episode. Peace.